Smite, like all MOBAs, is generally of the type where once you're ahead, you stay ahead. That's how it is. You snowball to a victory and win the game. However, not all games are like that. Sometimes you go 10-0, and suddenly it's like half an hour into the match. He's been turning the whole time. You're about to win. He kills you once because you went too hard, and you lose the game. Now, how does that happen? Well, sometimes it's exactly that. You went too hard, you deserve to die, and you got killed. Another case where you deserve to die, you got outplayed a bit. Although one could say that you outplayed him all those other 10 times. Why is it that that one outplay is worth so much more than those other 10 times? But that's besides the point. You know how the game works. You lost. You died. You lost. That's how it is. Other times maybe a bit more bullshit than that. Maybe the armors crit you 4 times in a row with no crit items, just using your passive. Or sometimes it's a bit of a mystery. You don't really, after watching the replay even sometimes, you can't get why you died. Well, today's video is all about how to not do that. People talk about how getting angry is really bad for your gameplay, but playing too fearfully is almost just as bad, if not worse. And I know that from personal experience. It's a habit of mine that I'm trying to work on, but there's some people who are, more end shadow type, go all in, play, I would say emotionally exactly, but definitely as if they're too emotional. Going all in for seemingly impossible kills. And there's people like me who play super passive, are really afraid to go for those all-in kills because they're afraid that they choke. And when they do go for them, they're so afraid that they're going to choke that they choke and lose the kill. Confirmation bias, keep on doing that, yada yada yada. So anyways, last season there was a Hades player who could beat pretty much anyone as Hades, except I would have a fighting chance. Not a guaranteed win. He was really good, and Hades was also a lot better, but I would have a fighting chance. We were about 50-50, I think. Don't hold me to that, though. And the reason I wouldn't lose to him is because I rode the line perfectly between fearful and frustrated. I wouldn't get too frustrated from sitting under tower or bored from sitting under tower while I waited for his early game inherent lead as Hades to pass. But I also wouldn't be so scared of him killing me that I wouldn't contest the odd buff, so he couldn't just get all 6 buffs for free. In fact, I'd usually get 2 buffs, sometimes even 3 if I could sneak it well, if he was maybe not too on his game. So there's really a fine line between playing too aggressively and too passively. And it all comes down to not playing emotionally. Really, playing too passively comes from fear. You're too afraid of throwing a lead, or too afraid because you face this guy 10 times in a row and he's beat you every time. You don't want to make the same mistakes, but in doing that you make the same mistake that you've made all those times, which is playing too passively, not going for the things like the buffs, the kills, the objectives that you really need to win the games, or getting too angry and starting to go for just nonsensical kills you really can't get. Smite's a really hard game. It's really hard, so please don't make it any harder yourself by letting your emotions turn you into an idiot. So let's get right into that match. Get on Anhur. That's me. Okay, so this video is about being ahead and I'm not ahead yet. Or sorry, this video is about how to play when you're ahead and I'm not ahead yet. So I guess first you'll have to see how I get ahead, which is going to be part of the mystery. But for now, I'll just commentate as if it was a standard Joust game. So just going to my normal position, I go there so I can see pretty much where they are no matter what. Getting a few hits off, missing my 2 because I thought he was going to go on further. He misses his 3 because I don't know. And then we both realized that we took some damage and we had enough time to back, so we both back. Nothing more to it. If he aggressed on me, I would destroy him because I'm an ADC, and you can't really walk into ADCs. You have to kind of commit to fighting them. So that's why he didn't attack me. And I didn't think I had much to gain from attacking him, so that's why it happened that way. He was around a corner, so I couldn't really just creep up on him. Now this is how I get ahead. For some reason he goes for his blue, and although you guys can't hear right now, I heard him use his overhand smash, his 2, to start clearing his blue buff. So although it was possible that he was doing a super hard bait, it was fairly unlikely, and I turned out to be right. And even if he had gotten me somehow, I would have just jumped away, so I would have been fine no matter what. So yeah, that's really how I got ahead. He just misplayed super hard. Now I get 2 buffs for free. I didn't really give anything up to do this. I just get 2 buffs. gonna back off now that I'm ahead. So this is how I got ahead, and from now on I play as if I'm ahead. If I can manage, even if we're going even, if I can just manage to play to not let anything go, I will win, because I'm Anhur, he's Hun Batz, I have the late game. Anhur's just a better character, especially in the late game because he's an ADC. So if I can, but now that I'm ahead, it's doubly true. If I can just hold on to my lead, I will win the game. There's no question. So the first big aspect of using your lead is stopping, as a hunter or really any physical who gets golden bow in its current state at least, which pretty much is a substitute for wave clear. Gods who don't have wave clear use it instead of use it because they don't have wave clear. Gods that do have wave clear use it so that they can use their wave clear for other things, and that's what I'm doing right now. Notice that I'm not using my 2 as much on the minions, and I'm really saving it to fight him and getting a lot more damage on him because of that. Now here's another aspect of keeping a lead. Oh, and the reason I waited so long to ult was because I thought his jump was up because I forgot that he jumped in on me. But then I realized his jump wasn't up because he would have jumped away if he could. So I ulted. Anyways, part of keeping the lead there was beadsing the ult. Now maybe I could have lived and even still killed him if I didn't beads the ult, but why take the risk? As long as I don't give him anything, I'm going to win. So just don't give him anything. And that's a big theme of playing as a more late game character who's ahead. Which, once you're in that position, which is a pretty fortunate position to be in, you just pretty much, all you have to do is keep your lead, and then you win. I thought he was going to go farther forward there, that's why I 2'd. I could have not killed, necessarily, maybe, but not necessarily killed, but definitely gotten a lot of damage on him. He teleports into me, which is a bit strange, and then he jumps into me, which is even worse. And I finish him up with the jump, so he can't get a lucky crit on me. Clearing the wave. Again, using golden bow, because why use my 2 on the wave if I'm not time pressured? I think I'm going to back, but then the red comes up, and I realize that I can probably do it in enough time. And if not, again, I can just jump away. He's not going to be able to kill me. His ult's not up. I don't think. Oh, it is up. Never mind. Just kidding. But I don't think he would have been able to kill me. I think he could have jumped away. And I back off all the way, because if he had followed me there, I didn't know he was at his blue, so if he had followed me there, he could have stopped me from backing and possibly taken my blue. Again, sticking with the theme, no risk. No risk without reward. Because another thing I talked about in the intro was sometimes, specifically players like me, will go too far with the no risk and literally take no risks. But without risk, you don't get any reward. Pretty much every fight in Smite is a risk. You could miss all of your shots. So at some point you do have to take risks. It's just all about taking the smart ones. Here he takes a not so smart risk by jumping in on an ADC who is way ahead of him in items. He doesn't even have full boots. Big mistake. He's trying to rely on his Transcendence to carry him, but it's just not enough. Okay. Backing here, because why not? I'm going to go back to the wave, and now I'm setting my sights on his tower. This is another thing you have to do while you're ahead. Less so as the later game character. Definitely much more relevant as an early game character. I'm just alt-tab, that's why I ran into the wall. But as an early game character especially, but still as a late game character, when you're ahead, you have to take their towers, because eventually the game will get to a point where you are both even in gold, or where experiencing gold doesn't matter, like, at all. Gold matters a bit because of 3k pots, but not as much as getting a full build, and experience just doesn't matter. Once you're 20, experience doesn't matter at all. So you have to find a way to capitalize on it before it doesn't matter. I'm just alt-tabbed there. I could have harassed him a bit more, but I wanted to look at something. And I was pretty sure I was going to win this game. That's not how to play while you're ahead. But anyways, he's backbaiting me here. I'm kind of notorious for stopping people from backing like an asshole, so he's trying to backbait me, but with enough experience in Joust, you can just tell when people are backbaiting. So I guess that's another example of what not to do. don't go too hard. Don't be like, well, I'm ahead, so I can afford to take a few tower shots to stop him from backing. Don't do it. Like, if there's no reason for him to back, you have 5 seconds while he backs. Take 4 of those seconds to think about if he has any reason to back, and if he doesn't, don't stop him. Just let him back. Unless you think that getting a hit on him would be really valuable, and you can do it for free. Again, clear my wave only with my auto attacks. No need to use the 2. Just save it for him. It does a lot of damage right now. 350 plus 80% plus 2 to 3 auto attacks. 1 auto attack, throw the spear, 1 or 2 auto attacks, unless you miss it. There I jump into his ult. I didn't expect him to ult there, which is why I jumped. I was going to knock him up and go for pillar stun. So this actually gets really close, and my Aussie saves me. Aussie plus Ichavolt both saved me. Not going to go for the Bull Demon because you get reduced lifesteal on it. I'm pretty sure. I don't know exactly how it works. Either the Ichavolt doesn't, or the Aussie passive doesn't work on it, or you get reduced lifesteal. Let's just say I haven't had good experiences with using, with trying to fight the Bull Demon at low health with Aussie. It just hasn't worked too well. Going for the defense. This is another very good thing, and it's actually why a lot of people got kind of salty with me in Season 2. I would go defense even when I was ahead, which some people consider scummy. I think that's generally over now because defense isn't as overpowered as it used to be. But it's all about not taking risks. So in this case, the only way he can come back is through a series of crazy plays, which involve him bursting me down, and I just get no chance to recover, or to fight back, really. If I get defense, he can't do that anymore. A full Hide of the Naming Line or Breastplate of Valor, he just literally cannot burst me. There's just not enough damage in his kit to burst me. I'll always have a chance to jump away unless I do something really dumb. So, just take away the option. I have all the items that I really need. This is the core item set for now. Later on, I'll want more penetration. But right now, he doesn't have too much defense. And I have 20 pen, too. There I don't have the beads up, but it doesn't matter, because I have my defense. Without the defense, I probably would have died there, honestly. There, once I'm sure he's backing, I'm going to go for the Bull Demon. This is the first big risk I take in the game, but keep in mind, it's not even that big a risk. I always have an escape plan. Like, by the time he comes over here, my jump's almost up. So, he really... And his ult's down. I remember his ult going down. So I saved my jump, which I use right here, because he does get really close to me. He jumps in, use my 2. Instantly, so he doesn't have any chance to juke, and just run away. He gets my blue, so what? I got the Bull Demon. I'm going to take his tower now. No point in contesting it, and possibly losing the buff, and also time with the Bull Demon debuff on the tower. Jumping, just because I have the MP5, so why not? And now our next objective is just to take the tower while the Bull Demon's on it, which I can most likely do. I'm 2 levels ahead of him, and I have a decent amount of defense, so he can't even burst me while attention is diverted. He's backing, but I know he has no reason to. Although there is no reason for me to not stop him, so it's not really a back bait, it's just a back that makes no sense. There's a difference. There I beads just because I want to kill the tower, and time is very valuable. And I know if I beads, I can kill him. The reason I'm turning so much is to see if the wave's there. Take the tower. I can't yet take the Phoenix, but I will get a lot of damage on. I think I get it to about 750. Again, Phoenix damage is like the most valuable thing in the game now. If I could die and take the Phoenix, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Red buff's also pretty valuable. Sometimes more valuable than the Bull Demon, so I'm gonna go for that just because I have the lifesteal, and because I know he can't kill me. Like there's no way. Also his ult's down, I believe. Going for the 2 for the secure. Also the dual purpose of hitting him if he didn't jump, but if he did jump, he was dead. So you know, double. There I ult just to kill him quickly, but the game's over. I would have gotten the Phoenix there, and that's pretty much a GG once you get the Phoenix. I mean, it's not literally GG. GG is when you get the Titan. And I will admit that physicals are a bit worse than mages. Mages, the struggle is to fight them, is to keep them from taking your stuff, and then to take their Phoenix. But getting the Titan is just super easy. As Kukulkan, you can just 3 ult, it's done. Like, it's just done. Similar with Poseidon and, Kronos. Like, all of the good mages, like, you just insta-kill it. Not to say that Kukulkan's a good mage. Physicals, it's a bit harder to take the Titan. Definitely less so with physical, with hunters than assassins and warriors. Warriors and assassins, it's a mess to get the Titan. Anyways, tangent. But once you get the Phoenix, especially this early, it's a good sign that it's GG. Fire minions are super hard to deal with this early, and every time the Phoenix comes back, it comes back with less health and less protections. So I successfully converted my early gold and experience lead into an objective lead, because I would have taken the Phoenix here, and that secured me the game. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you will watch next video. I was going to say I hope to see you in next video, but I won't ever see you in the videos. So let me take a minute here just to go over the goals and explain my thoughts on this video, because this is kind of an experimental video series. The content's over, but if you want to stick around just so you get some more context on what I'm thinking here, you can stick around. So I guess I want to explain the format to you because you can see what it was, but my thoughts behind it are they're influenced, as I said in the preview video from yesterday, they're influenced by Crip's videos, and I'm pretty much just trying to stick to a theme and talk about it, which is pretty difficult in Smite, so I hope I did a good job of sticking to the theme. Obviously not everything I say is relevant to it, but I think I generally tried to provide a connection back to the main theme, which is how to maintain a lead and profit off of it, rather than just kind of let it wither away or even let it get reversed. Because and it's a very near and dear topic to me, as I said in the intro. I just lost a game like yesterday or 2 days ago where I was like 3-4-0, and then I died twice, and then they won. Like, it was a Ymir match. Like, why did I do that? I still don't know. Like, it just made no sense to me. Suddenly, I was losing. In that case, the reason was because he caught up on items, and I was still playing as if I was ahead on items. But there's so many ways you can give up a lead, and my hope with this video is to help people realize where they're going wrong and fix their mistakes. Because the most frustrating thing in a game is not losing once, or even losing 1,000 times. It's losing, like, 1,000 times for the same exact reason, or losing 1,000 times not for the same exact reason, but like for reasons you can't tell, or even worse, losing 1,000 times for the same reason, but you can't figure out how to fix it. So my hope with this video is to help you guys out there who are feeling stuck, who are feeling like you can't capitalize off a lead, who are feeling like Joust just the early kills don't matter at all, because I can assure you they do. Pressure is really a valuable thing in Joust. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you next video.